Hello and welcome back to episode 33 of my huge Earth map Deity series as the Celts. The game is getting progressively laggier. It was definitely not meant to run maps of this size and with this many civilizations. Where we left off, we had retreated our most upgraded frigates and ship of the line, so these guys have both range and logistics, and some of them have additional movement as well. They're headed home because we expended a few great scientists to unlock plastics and purchase some research labs. We've got 2 research labs up. We're pumping an extra 150 odd science per turn, but I do feel bad about expending the great scientists early. So I would have preferred to save them for when I have science per turn in the 1,000 range. But as a result, we are getting closer to electronics, and so I want my frigates home for that upgrade, although it's still a good 12 turns away. We have left our nuclear submarines and the frigates that don't have excessive upgrades, plus the admiral and a privateer over here to keep an eye on any fleet movements from Brazil. We have also got open borders with the Zulu, so our 2 units here are healing up. We also have a social policy to choose, so for those of you who missed yesterday's episode, I'll let you know what our social policy options are. Well, let's just bring that up quickly, and then we'll go through the rest of the turn and we'll choose our how to spend that social policy at the end of this first turn. So we can grab humanism to get over to free thought. That'll get us +1 for trading posts, of which we have none, except for possibly in some of our puppets. No, we don't have any trading posts, so that's not relevant. Sure, we could get our workers to put in some trading posts, but I'm not too worried about that. The main reason we would go for this is for the plus 17% boost from universities. Our other option, so that to get over to free thought, that's 2 policies in. If we want to go 3 policies in, we'd have to grab 2 level 1 tenants and then get over to a level 2 order tenant worker faculties, which would get us a 25% boost to science from factories. Now, is there something useful along the way? So Hero of the People is going to be equivalent to humanism. That's going to be a plus 25% boost to across the board to all great people. And we could also get some happiness, although we have happiness to spare on that. The gold cost of purchasing buildings could be useful if we are definitely going to be purchasing 1 more research lab. So that skyscrapers there is definitely going to save us some money. 33% off of 1,300 is real money. That's at least 300 or 400 gold. Patriotic War, I don't think it's going to be too relevant. We don't really need to worry about catching spies. Bonus from factories. So if we wanted happiness, we'd probably grab the socialist realism tenant, but otherwise I'm leaning towards skyscrapers, and then with the next tenant probably a happiness boost and then worker faculties. But our culture output is pretty low right now, so we might not actually even get over to level 2 order before the game ends, one way or another. Alright, let's go and take all of our city shots. We've got a great writer, and we can use him to write a political treatise, and that will speed us to the next policy. Okay, so that is also something to consider with which policy we can take, that we're going to get a small culture boost from the great writer that just spawned. Antananarivo just was diplomated by diplomarriage and claimed by Austria. It's rather distant from Austria's main territory, but that's fine. Cannon we dealt damage to. Alright, so there's policies and then there's units. Let's keep on dealing damage to this city then. We're not going to deal enough damage to take the city, so we may as well try to capture a privateer. Decisive victory. Oh, but we can't attack because we don't have open borders with Greece. Alright, well, we'll send this guy, or maybe this guy. Deal damage here. We should be out of range. I don't think the artillery can two-shot our frigate here, but if they can, we'll just move off to be safe. Moving off to here does put us out of range. That'll be fine. And we'll swing this guy around. Capturing another privateer might be nice, but I just would rather him not make any trouble. Go and kill that guy. Alright, so those are those moves. We've got 3 ships with range and logistics for our assault on Kaopeng. Sweden is not at war with Denmark. Sweden is at war only with Spain, and I guess that's where they're sending this massive fleet. How they're going to get to the Spanish cities is another question altogether. I suppose we could offer them open borders if we really want them to be able to get in there and actually make trouble. Alright, so that's all of our damage dealt there. We can leave these guys within range of the city's artillery. And these guys are now home. They can receive their battleship upgrades as soon as that happens. And while we're here, I suppose we can help out with the attack against Denmark. Are we still at war with Spain? Yes, we are. So let's kill that great general. Now, I suppose, well, we would need open borders with both Morocco and Portugal to get in into the Mediterranean and take out these Spanish cities. So it'd be easiest just to see if Isabella will take peace. Okay, so she is willing to take peace and would give us a city for that. So let's take a look at Cordoba before we accept this deal. Good morning, Jacob23. And Cordoba, it's right on a mountain, so it'd probably have an observatory. We would be getting the city without having to sack it, so it would have all of its buildings intact, which at this stage should mean at the very least a library. A library and an observatory most likely. Yeah, we'll definitely take that deal. Looks like we finally ground Isabella into a very favorable surrender. So negotiate peace. We'll definitely take Cordoba there. Accept. Goodbye. And it is going to be in resistance for the next 13 turns or so. Although we're suddenly friendly with Isabella, that's great. Why don't we swap embassies while we're still happy with each other? Hey Tudless, welcome to the stream. And let's do a quick embassy swap. Cool. Alright, a pleasure doing business there, Isabella.
Excelente.
And ooh, we got a great work of art as well. We can view the city. It's definitely going to be a puppet to start with. But let's see what sort of quality buildings we got. A public school and a university. And an observatory. So once this guy's out of resistance, which admittedly won't be for quite a while, we'll be in really good shape here. This will be an excellent addition to our empire. We also have a few happiness buildings. There's the Cayley Hall. And that's it. No Colosseum. That's too bad. Alright, well, return. Create a puppet. Did I gain any luxuries from this? No, all of these luxuries were controlled by Barcelona, so we actually could use the happiness now. We're gonna get growth soon. Unfortunately, Cordoba is gonna be losing some of that population, which might speed its resistance time, but I actually haven't checked that recently, so that's something new that we'll learn in this episode, whether or not losing population speeds the time out of resistance. Alright, so I think... Do I have any excess luxuries that I could trade with someone? I do not. So I probably... if I take Kaopeng, am I going to keep it? It does have some luxuries. Alright, let's... Do I want 250/400 gold, or would I rather have a whole bunch of happiness? Let's go with the happiness. Now what's going to get us more happiness here? We've got workshops and factories in most of our cities, but we definitely have monuments in all of our cities, so socialist realism is probably going to get us more happiness here. Let's grab... Well, we do have one happiness. Alright, let's grab skyscrapers. And then we'll be able to purchase out another research lab much sooner. So I want to grab a research lab in Dublin. Is that right? So York? Does York have a research lab already? It does not. So York is pumping 58 science per turn, while Dublin is pumping 63. Alright, let's go and pop the Great Writer. Our next policy is 2,300 away, and we get 700, so that's going to shave off just under a third of the way to the next policy, which currently is 22 turns away. Let's see what we're doing with that great work. If we can up our culture per turn a little, we might save that. Alright, so we just grabbed Cordoba, and the great work there was automatically relocated to Barcelona. Let's see. Let's drop these guys. See if we can get a theming bonus going, or put them all in the capital. Right, we can put everything into Edinburgh since we do have the Hermitage there. Alright, that's fine. So that shaves off one turn, relocating everything where we get the Hermitage bonus. And should I wait a little longer in hopes that my culture per turn will up before I use the Great Writer? So the Great Writer, his yield is based on the current culture per turn times 8, I believe. So if we can get that culture value up a little higher, we'll get a little more culture out of him. I don't need to save his upkeep, so maybe I'll keep him around for a little longer before I get him to write his local treatise. And these guys are done. Actually, we don't want this guy to be shot at by 2 artillery pieces. Let's move him over to here. But my Golden Age ends in 3 turns. Alright, we'll pop the Great Writer next turn then. That's a really good point at matter 0. Alright, everything there is set up as we want it to be. Trapper MMA, welcome to the stream. We'll flip that over. Maybe we'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on Denmark, but I think they go closer to the end of the turn, so let's watch this fleet first. And Isabella's already turning around and denouncing us, so there goes that embassy. Very well. No big deal. Alright, has Brazil had its turn yet? I was looking off to the side. Did the nuclear submarine die? No, we have 2 nuclear submarines now, which is a nice little fleet. It's not going to be... if used properly, we could definitely take out Brazil's fleet here. But Brazil does have an air force, a sizable air force. At one point in time, we saw 3 Great War bombers and a either a fighter or a triplane. I don't remember which at the moment. But they could definitely make a lot of trouble for our frigates. Alright, so more civs are congratulating us on adopting order. And, right, I should be able to purchase a research lab in Dublin now. Alright, we haven't taken any damage on these guys yet. The Danes haven't gone. And did Germany vote in the past world leader? Okay, so I guess Trapper MMA is wondering, since we did liberate one of Germany's cities, whether or not they would have voted for us in the for the host of the UN. So if we had liberated them from, had brought them back from non-existence, so had they been eliminated and then we had revived them, brought them back to life by liberating one of their cities, then they would have voted for us. But Germany already had 2 cities over in Asia, so we didn't bring them back to life in that manner. Right, we can keep on selling the coal. 45 gold is fine. I'm not using the coal for anything. So thanks, Washington. Hey Massive Effects, welcome to the stream. Nice playing some Civ 3 with you last night. Oh no, I read that trade deal wrong. You're right, Matter Zero. I actually bought coal from Washington. That was a waste of a little gold then. Oops. And it looks like Austria has a bunch of aircraft running around now. We can go and have a look at what sort of aircraft they're sporting once the turn rolls over. Okay, no approaching ships here. Russia has declared war on Rome. Harold is willing to offer us 23 gold per turn for peace. I think that'd be fine, although then it leaves our fleet with nothing to do. Let's see if we can extract more favorable peace terms then, since if we do make peace, our fleet is going to be out of targets. We would have to declare war on someone new, such as Portugal. I mean, they might have some good cities to take. Let's decline this for now. Take some shots and then maybe extract an even more favorable deal later. Alright, so what we can do is take Kaupang, maybe sell that to someone. Sweden, are we friends with Sweden? I think they denounced us recently, but neutral, they have denounced us. If if we were friends with Sweden, we would be able to sell Kaupang for amazing amounts of gold. We should be friendly with Germany, although the open borders did end. They probably don't have anything worth giving them Kaupang for, though. Let's have a look at Germany quickly. Yeah, they have 34 gold in their treasury and are making a negative gold per turn. So selling Kaupang to Germany isn't really going to work. Matter 0. Ooh, yes. England has been eliminated, it would seem. Let's we go and bring up diplomacy. Diplomacy overview. I think England is completely out of this. So, Elizabeth, do you show up on this chart anymore? England has been eliminated. Coal from Washington ended and resumed accidentally. We finished out another privateer. Let's give them the boarding party promotions. And is there anything to capture up here? Doesn't seem so. So if I finish this war, if I don't want to declare war on anyone new, that means my only remaining targets are, where am I on the score chart? Okay, I'm right below Egypt. Currently I'm at war with Rome, Polynesia, Brazil, Korea, the Inca, China, Arabia, Denmark, and Melbourne, the city-state. So there's no point in bringing our fleet around to deal with the Roman city there. Let's see if we can get more favorable peace terms, but actually taking the city is going to be a huge drain on our happiness. We will get the gold and the lapis, and potentially... No, not the truffles, and we already have a lot of truffles anyways. Okay, damage to Kaupang. And so here, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to take this city this turn. We're going to take some more damage from this artillery. We should probably move this guy back a little then. We're not at war with the Shoshone. Move back to here. And as for these guys, should we try to take Lisbon? It would give our fleet something to do. We would have tons of cargo ships to pillage. We would definitely get more gold off of them than just letting, well, gold per turn at this stage. If we were to declare war, what we would lose 28 gold per turn, which is actually pretty... Wait, no, that's not what I'm looking at. That's how much money they're making from us. 14... Wait, are we making 28 gold per turn off of that? The tooltip, the directional arrow, I think that means to us. So we're actually making a lot of gold per turn off of these routes. Alright, so maybe we won't declare war on Portugal then. I'd rather keep that going. Let's go and buy our research lab. Which only costs 900 thanks to skyscrapers. And we'll employ that scientist slot. Let's see what are our citizens doing here. Yeah, we can dial back on the production. I'm not in a rush to complete that stock exchange. Employ that slot. And return. Alright, choosing production here. What would actually be useful to build out? Building out a Cayley Hall would be good. I don't think... Oh, we already have one, so building out the amphitheater is really not necessary. let's cancel that. And what's actually going to be useful? We have one more trade route. Let's go build out a cargo ship. And then we've got this fleet here. I would like it if this fleet would actually be put to use. I don't think I'm going to be able to get open borders off of Portugal or Morocco. Plus, we're not, the only reason we would want to get into the Mediterranean now is to attack Rome. Alright, well, how far off are we from battleships? We're still a ways to go, unless we expend our last saved great scientist. These fleets are going to be sitting unused for a little while. Let's park this guy up here. I guess as close to South America within our territory as possible. The ironclad has now been fully repaired. Suppose we can push him out to here. And let's push it over this way. And maybe we can go and try to capture ourselves a carrier. Since we don't have an air force, that's not too useful. But knocking down some more of Brazil's fleet, that might be the way to go. Let's bring the privateer over to join our South American fleet. And let's pop the Great Rudder before we forget and our Golden Age ends. So political treatise right now. We're at 20 turns to the next policy. We'll go and use this guy. 14 turns to the next policy. Not bad. City connection has been established. So we're getting a little gold off of that. Cordoba is starting. Last time it was at 13 turns of resistance. Now it's at 12. So losing citizens to starvation does not reduce your resistance time, it would seem. Or at least it doesn't reduce it any faster than normal. Now, more Sioux states are being swallowed up by diplomatic marriage. Bunch of announcements around. And Trapper May asks what the weather is like in Toronto today. It's overcast but clearing up. It did rain overnight, so there's a bunch of water. It looks a little gloomy, but I do see some blue sky peeking through the clouds, so it should get better as the day progresses. Let's just have these guys on alert. So that's everything. Maybe I will go and make peace with Cao Pang here. Let's see if he'll offer me something even more favorable. Negotiate peace. 22 gold per turn. It's not bad. I don't have the happiness to deal with that, and I don't think I get a better deal out of Sweden. So all we're missing out on is sacking the city for a little gold. We don't have to worry about slowing Denmark down. Alright, let's gain a little extra experience on our ships here. Get some free shots on the city. And then we'll make peace, because I don't really want this city. Alright, now, attacking the city, we would take 71 damage, but we would also get to pillage a little gold. So let's do that. Okay, the combat prediction was wrong. Oh, I forgot that the privateer was already damaged. Some mornings are not as good as others. We'll take another shot here, is that right? Alright, so we'll go and take peace, since we don't even have a capture unit in range anymore. I wonder if that factors into the amount of gold they're willing to give us. 22 gold per turn, alright, we'll take peace there. Friendly. And while we're at it, Perhaps we might want to swap embassies. Maybe he won't denounce me next turn. He probably will though. But while we're friendly, can we get any luxury swaps going? No excess luxuries here. Alright, that's fine. Alright, in that case, all of these guys will start heading over towards, at least in the direction of South America. Are we at war with the Songhai? There's just so many civs to keep track of. Brazil, China, the Inca. We are actually not at war with the Songhai. Alright, so that's good to know. We'll move the Admiral since he's the slowest of the set. And the rest of these guys down over this way too. Alright, so that's all of our units. Although Civ is threatening to freeze on me. Alright, so that looks like the turn. We'll flip that over to strategic view again. And then perhaps, well, we've got to give orders to this frigate. I don't know what his deal is. No. Alright, we'll just park over here. Put you on alert. Alright, maybe we should pop our Great Scientist next turn to try to get over to electronics and upgrade these guys to battleships sooner, because I think I could make my greatest gains by taking these Brazilian cities. Trapper MMA wants to know if Carthage has been eliminated. And I'm not seeing Carthage on the score screen here. So if my Latin was a little better, I might describe their current state. But as it is, I don't know how to conjugate those tenses. I'll just say that Carthage has been destroyed. The number of enemies we have in this world has decreased, although it is concerning that Sweden has denounced us, and they have a rather large navy swarming around Great Britain. The Indonesians have just denounced us. We still haven't scouted the interior of all of the other continents, and we don't even have the coastline for Australia. Unfortunately, the ships that we had scouting this area were destroyed by Indonesian units. We did get a few good cargo ship pillages off though, so that was definitely a worthwhile mission. And once the turn rolls over, we can see who has the Carthaginian capital. Or I can just scroll over randomly and see if we have vision on that. Carthage, yep. Captured by Egypt. The Songhai are still around, but they did capture a bunch of Carthage's cities. We lost one of our caravels, and Washington wants open borders. I could sell him open borders, that would be fine. I'm assuming that'll go for 50. Let's see, is he willing to pay me a little more? Fine. We can sell open borders for now. Throwing Soup, welcome to the stream. I think if you're on mobile, I don't know if there's the option on the web, but you can listen to audio only if the video is unacceptably choppy. Because at this stage, there's not really too much exciting happening on the screen. We're watching the turn transition. Ethiopia has completed the Manhattan Project. That caravel was destroyed by a Great War bomber. Okay, so any ships that do park within range of South America's Air Force are definitely going to be in danger. If I could, I'm going to be using all of my oil on battleship upgrades. I have 4 oil. That's going to be 4 battleships. But capturing an aircraft carrier and then putting some fighters on that might be prudent. It would be a really good counter for those Great War bombers. Alright, so Harold is actually really friendly with us now. They want us to declare war on Germany. That would give our fleet something to do. We could go and recapture Cologne. Do I want to do that? I think I want to remain peaceful with as much of the world as possible right now. So why don't we say, give us 10 turns to prepare, and we can always renege on that agreement later. What is Germany's diplomatic attitude towards us at the moment? They're lowest on the score screen, so denouncing them won't anger anyone. In fact, it'll probably we'll get lots of kudos from the rest of the world for that. The AI really does like piling onto the loser civs. They're guarded, so denouncing them won't be any trouble. We do still have the positive modifier there. We're liberating one of their cities and fighting against a common foe. Alright, well, we'll consider taking Cologne. Overall, it's not really the most exciting of cities. But we'll definitely consider denouncing them. Oh, Massive Effects, I forgot trying to turn the graphics settings down. Hopefully I'll remember for tomorrow's episode, and we'll see if that speeds up the processing and the turn times. Alright, let's flip that over to the conventional beautiful view, and we'll bring our fleet over into range to possibly strike Cologne if that's what we want to make happen. And maybe at the end of this episode we're going to denounce Germany. But all of these frigates and ships of the line should get back to home territory to heal up. Protect the Admiral. And bring these guys into home territory, that'll be fine. Alright, choosing production. Dublin has finished its stock exchange. Let's see, what are our options? We've got all of the crab hooked up. We even have fishing boats on the fish, strangely enough. I think that was the AI who set that up. We've got a big stockpile of faith and nothing to do with it. If we wanted, we could buy a great profit for no particular benefit. I suppose if we want to keep on growing here, we could build out a hospital. Let's work on the zoo, as we're starting to run low on happiness. Or we could work on research. Alright, zoo or research? I'm not about to capture any more cities. Let's work on research then. And do I want to employ any other slots? Nope. Everyone is working nice high food tiles. Another citizen means more science. We'll leave that as is for now. Trapper May asks if I speak any foreign languages. Unfortunately, I do not. We all had to learn very, very basic French in public school, but none of that really stuck with me. I can understand written and spoken French, but I have a very, very limited vocabulary, so that's not too useful. But attempting to speak French would end in disaster. Potentially entertaining disaster if you know how to speak French and are willing to see people totally butcher it. But I don't think we're going to try that right now. Alright, so a spy replacement has been recruited after our long textile timer on Arabia finished, and that spy ended up getting killed. Muslim County is 84 turns, which is ridiculous. Japan is, I think we're ahead of them on tech. We can check out the Songhai. Lisbon might be a good option. Alright, let's move one guy over to Lisbon, send a spy there, and then maybe the Zulu or Warsaw. Let's check out Warsaw. Okay, so that's everything. Do I want to pop a great scientist? We have, over the past several turns, improved our science per turn. If I check my units, have I already expended all of my great scientists? I still have one. He's sleeping over in York. Do I want to use him right now? If I used him now, I would get 4,200 science speakers, which would it wouldn't complete electronics for me, but it would shave off a whole bunch of turns. We have another scientist coming soon. An engineer in 45. We've got a great scientist in 4, 6. Alright, let's pop this guy right now. So now we're 2 turns away from electronics. We'll have battleships upgraded, hopefully for the end of this episode. We'll send these guys over to Brazil and see what sort of damage we can do, which means I'll probably want to send more backup here. Maybe send, well, definitely this privateer. He's already on his way. That's good. Alright, flip that over to strategic view and roll the turn over. Unfortunately, we can't faith buy any scientists. We haven't completed any of the relevant social policy trees. So the faith is just going to sit here, useless for us. We have 4 steps, which is not going to happen before the game ends. And this game, we decided to go piety instead of tradition. So we have a lot of faith and nothing to spend it on. Unless someone has a clever idea for that. This privateer, I thought I told him to go and meet up with the rest of this fleet. And Trapper MMA asked if buying that research lab out in Dublin didn't really give us that much of a science boost. It seems that way. We're only at 702 science. We should have gotten more of a boost from Dublin. Can I look at my economy overview during the turn transition? No, I can't. So what was the last science value we were at? It was somewhere around 640. Okay, so in Dublin, we definitely got a boost here. Okay, it's from the research. We're only getting 8 more research from the construction project. which is better than nothing. I mean, I'd rather a little bit of research than 2 more happiness, I suppose. When we get up to 900 gold, we'll buy a research lab in York, and then a research lab in Reykjavik. Or maybe we can get York to hard build a research lab, and then buy... how long is it going to take us to get up to 1800? 9 turns. We'll compare that to the manual build time in York. Now, when Barcelona gets out of resistance, that's going to get us a lot of nice science. Alright, so over the course of this episode, we've definitely upped our science per turn. And we've got 2 great scientists on the way. If it looks like we're closing in on grabbing satellites, then we should definitely re-employ the great engineer slots in York so that we can spawn one of those to help us finish out Hubble. Hubble is still available as far as I've seen, but then again, I have missed out on quite a few things. Ooh, America lost its capital. Onondaga to the Aztecs. Washington has fallen. Trapper May wants to know if I can buy great people in captured cities because of the Reformation belief. That is a really good question. That would be... well, first we'll see who has the Reformation belief that would allow great people purchasing. And if so, that would be a really good use for our fleet. That's an awesome idea. We'll give that a try. Master Effects, I do stream using OBS. So that's actually, I'm really excited about that idea, Trapper MMA. We have a huge pile of faith. This could be just what we need. The Incans have just completed the Apollo project. We're at turn 271. We'll go and flip over and look at the demographics as well to see how many tech, how much in terms of percent we're behind Brazil. We did just expend some great scientists, so hopefully we're less than 20% behind Brazil. Or the leader at this stage. Alright, well let's see what our options are. Okay, so in strategic view we don't actually have information about what religions these cities are following, but we'll see. Actually no, I don't think that works. So the Reformation beliefs are only available to the founder of the religion. But we could use our faith to purchase some industrial units. Very well. Alright, so I was excited about Trapper MMA's idea, but I don't think it's going to work. For example, if you have a foreign religion in your city and they have Jesuit education, which lets you purchase universities and all the other science buildings with faith, you're not able to, at least from what I remember. That, in any case, we're not going to be able to test that soon. So Matter Zero is saying that except for Jesuit education, which works for any city following a religion associated with that belief. Alright, well if it works for Jesuit education, maybe it would work for faith buying as well. I don't know. I guess it's worth trying, or we'll find out if anyone has that Reformation belief first. Well, first let's check the demographics screen as promised. We are now 19% behind the tech leader, so a small improvement there. We go look at beliefs. Reformation belief there's Jesuit education, but no one took the Reformation belief that allows purchasing of great people. So that's out. Alright, well, that's too bad. I guess then, in Seville, it has Seville. Seville is currently puppeted. Barcelona is in resistance, as is Cordoba. But when Barcelona gets... Okay, Barcelona is out of resistance. I can use some of this faith to purchase some units here. If I wanted a Gatling gun, a cannon, or an infantry, I would put this faith to use. But none of those seem particularly useful to me. So, cancel that, but that looks like the only outlet for our faith right now. Cities following Catholicism. Or perhaps, can I do the purchase in some of my other cities? No, they do need to be following Catholicism by the looks of it. Yep. Alright, so stock exchange done. Let's hard build the research lab over in New York, since we do have some decent production here. And do I want to employ a great engineer slot? Let's look at the timers quickly. Great person list, 3, 5, and 22, 36. Alright, so potentially spawning 4 more. How long is it going to take us to get over to satellites? Electronics next turn. And then run over to satellites. That, with our current tech rate, is predicted to be 59 turns. Okay, well, I guess that does my current great engineer timing completion is going to be fine for that. If we really need to push for the great engineer, we do have the 4 or the 3 engineer slots to work. So let's hard build the research lab here, and when we have the 900, we'll go and buy out a research lab in Iceland. Choosing production in London. We'll keep on kicking out privateers. America lost its capital. Oh yeah, we wanted to see how many civs have lost their capitals. So we'll go and take a look at victory progress. Victory progress. We control the Celtic capital. Austria controls the German capital. France controls Venice. Egypt controls Carthage. The Aztecs control America. The Austrians control Poland. We control the Netherlands capital, Amsterdam. Alright, so a lot of capitals have been taken. Assyria controls both Babylon and Persia, and the Aztecs control the American and the Mayan capitals. But no one's close to any sort of domination victory. Science victory, only one player has completed the Apollo project, so we still have some breathing room, although we're so far off from Hubble that things look pretty dangerous. The number of votes required, delegates required to win the world leader is 38. So that sounds like it'd be difficult to get up to. And no one is close to winning a cultural victory either, which is understandable on a huge map with this many other civs. Right, so that's our golden age done, which does mean that our next policy is going to take even longer to grab, since our culture per turn isn't being buffed anymore. Alright, this fleet here, let's move these guys to South America. I don't remember my bitrate settings offhand. I think it's something like 2200 for OBS. I'm using whatever the recommended settings are for Twitch. Alright, that frigate will need to heal up. And we'll get into our own territory and heal here. Alright, nuclear subs. We haven't spotted any enemies. We'll stay on alert. Although we were on alert previously, so presumably a ship popped in and then popped out. That's why the sub woke up. We've got the caravan. I think this guy would be more useful as a cargo ship. In which case, let's delete this guy and switch Dublin over from research to constructing a cargo ship. And this cargo ship, what's our highest gold? For available trade routes, London to Hippo Regius, or Edinburgh to Lisbon, which is already going, Edinburgh to Copenhagen. Let's go London to Hippo Regius. Let's see how safe that route would be. Hippo Regius is right here. Alright, that looks safe. That's going to be where our fleet is ferrying itself back and forth, so let's get that set up. Nice gold, London to Hippo Regius. Nice. And then over here, London to Lisbon is pretty good as well. Spain is guarded very well. Oh no, and I forgot to flip us over to strategic mode. So this might be a really long turn transition, and I guess we'll have to save the battleship upgrade for the next episode. We will have to end today's stream after we finish this turn transition. And I guess while we're sitting here, I can actually check what my bitrate settings are. Oh, actually, I have my bitrate set to 3000 kilobytes per second, which might be a little higher than Twitch suggests, which might explain why the stream is a little choppy for some of you. At least that's the target bitrate. Right now, we are pumping at... oh no, we are pretty much meeting the target bitrate. It pops between 2700 and 3500, which would explain the stuttering. But we don't have any dropped frames, and I do have good quality for YouTube, so I'm hesitant to switch the settings up too much. Now Germany is denouncing us. We'll denounce them as our very last act for today's stream. Twitch suggested input / ingest settings are Alright, so the recommended bitrate for 1080p is 3000 to 3500 kbs. So I'm going for the recommended there. That seems fine. And... So Augustus is willing to give us one of his crappy cities for peace. I guess I could sell this city to someone else, but it would increase my social policy timing. A free city is a free city. Let's refuse for now. We'll go back to him with that peace deal later if we think we have a good buyer for the city. So Sweden might buy that city for a reasonable chunk of change. We aren't friends, so he'd probably pay me a reasonable gold per turn. Rome, I would have taken gold per turn from Rome, but Rome was running a deficit. So maybe that'll be another question for YouTube. Should I take Neapolis as part of a peace deal with Rome? A uncanny luck. We do have a mix of ship of the lines here. Some of them were captured using privateers, and we're also using a mod, which Matter0 is explaining in the chat. It lets you build other civs unique units in cities you capture from them, but at a cost of an extra 15%. And it requires that they already have had the tech for that. And so the only unique unit that we've built out so far is the ship of the line. They have been quite useful for us. Washington wants to sign a research agreement. I think I would rather hang on to this gold. Although I probably should sign a research agreement with someone, because we might need that extra push at the end if we are racing towards the science victory. Suddenly our science per turn has dropped. We were at 700 something previously. Okay, we switched Dublin off of science production? No, that shouldn't have done it. What happened to all of my science per turn? Excess happiness, that shouldn't have changed. We shouldn't have been getting too much from trade routes. Science from cities seems to have dropped. And it looks like Massive Effects is trying to test out streaming using OBS, so is stream quality, testing bitrate. So dropped frames is purely from the host side. Matter0, you won't be able to see dropped frames as a viewer. Alright, so we've got another entrant into the space race. The Incans and the Chinese have both completed Apollo. We'll go and denounce Germany, and then we'll see about shopping. I will save that for the next episode. Alright, so we'll announce Germany as the promised last act for this morning's stream, and then I'll see you all tomorrow. London is demanding perfume. Germany is demanding to be denounced. Let's see, we have denounced them. Good. Alright, so that's it for today's stream. Hopefully I'll see many of you tomorrow. Thank you all for watching, and that's all for now.